God, we pray that you bless this meeting and all gathered here. Give us unity of spirit and guide us to work as one tonight. Help us to wisely evaluate the pros and cons of each decision and effectively carry them out. We are thankful for all county employees and volunteers and ask you to bless them. We ask that you also pray for the families and friends of the young men who tragically lost their lives recently. We place our hearts and minds in your hands. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given of this meeting by forwarding notice to the South Jersey Times and Elma Times Company, and by posting notice on the bulletin board in the Salem County Courthouse and the 5th Street Office Complex, and by filing notice in the offices of the Salem County Clerk and the Clerk of the Board, all having been done at least 48 hours in advance.
Roll call, please.
Director Benjamin Laura.
Here.
Commissioner Bristol.
Here.
Commissioner Ramsey.
Here.
Deputy Director Oscar.
Here.
Commissioner Ware.
Present.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Commissioners, what's your pleasure with the minutes?
Mr. Director, I make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes from the April 20th, 2022 meeting. Minutes are to be received, approved, and recorded in the minute book.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. That would be unanimous. Thank you. We have a special recognition for one of our heroes here to receive it, and Scott, can you do that presentation?
Debbie Ashcliffe is going to accept this. The County Board of Commissioners has appointed May 15th to the 21st, 2022 as the Emergency Medical Service Week. Medical Service Week, May 15th to the 21st, 2021. Whereas emergency medical service is a vital part of public service, and the members of emergency medical service teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those who need 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness and require emergency medical services, has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including prevention, medicine, follow care, and public awareness. Whereas the emergency medical service system consists of first responders, including emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firemen, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and others out-of-hospital medical care providers. Whereas the members of emergency medical service teams, whether volunteers or career, engaged in thousands of hours of specialized training and conditioning education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and compliments of emergency medical services provided by the designated Emergency Medical Service Week. So after all of that, now therefore, Salem County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the week of May 15th to the 21st as Emergency Medical Service Week, and with the theme of EMS, Rising to the Challenge. Thank you very much. Our community.
And it's very apropos that Debbie's here taking it today. She is one of our heroes, volunteer heroes in the county. If you have an accident, you got a good chance of seeing Debbie up and taking care of you. It's a blessing to have you in the county, Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Had liver twins Sunday.
You did?
Well, I caught, okay?
You're running out of first half?
I'll have a big.
One was for each, second one was for each.
Yeah, that's, those groups are fun, that's just.
But they don't make your best.
Like, that's just. Congratulations.
Good job. Not so hard.
Well,
It's not so hard.
oh, yes it is. I was there, you know.
There you go, that's a little better. Thank you.
Well, most of the time it's not like, it's morning.
Well, when he was through for. There we go, and then they had
You want,
we just pulled in the Molino.
Get the change up.
What's that?
Get the change
No, I was like, I'm gonna.
you want to say anything about Debbie has a few words she'd like to say, just deliver twins.
Yeah.
As an EMS, she's delivering twins, that's amazing.
So as EMTs, part of our skills is to deliver babies. We have paramedics with us, which I did, but he said he didn't do anything. He was in the wrong place all the time. It all worked out fine, babies were a month early. So that is a good thing for us when we do EMS. We see lots of terrible things out there. So when we get a chance to have something that wonderful happen, we're pretty happy. So, and it all turned out well, so that's even better, so. But, like you said, there are still some volunteers out there, we're trying hard, so, EMS is always evolving. So, so that's it, but thank you very much for recognizing everyone.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. It's also my honor to introduce Chris Alexander for presentation. Amazing this county and farmland preservation, what she's been doing, and the entire people we work with. Just the one I've dealt with River and Elmer, we dealt with state. We've got all kinds of issues. She handled it with smooth. It was it's nice to have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Thanks,
So,
Fred.
and this county is either second or first in farmland preservation. First in farmland preservation. So, and we're not stopping. So if you drive through Salem County, it is one beautiful county, and we want to keep it that way. We want not restricted growth, but responsible growth in this county. Yes, we want growth, but it needs to be responsible, and it's one way we can control it. So, the floor is yours.
Hi everybody, my name is Elena. I'm the planner that was brought on to update your farmland preservation plan.
I'm going to try to get this on Facebook here, and if you would move over, thank you. You're right in the frame. You're going to be on the whole thing. Am I good? You're right there. This way, no, you're good.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Try.
We were prepared. Anticipate the computer dying.
away.
My name is Elena. I'm the planner that was hired to update Salem County's farmland preservation plan. The last plan was prepared and adopted, I believe, in 2008. So every 10 years, the plan is required to be updated and readopted to review any changes that have happened within the past 10 years and to also stay compatible and eligible for the county to keep receiving the matching cost share grants from the State Agriculture Development Committee for farmland preservation activities. So we prepared your updated plan, and so the County Agriculture Development Board already had 2 public hearings, and they approved the plan at their meeting last week. And so now we're here at the Commissioners meeting, and then after that we'll be going to the Planning Board for its final adoption as a master plan element. So this is a criteria for farmland preservation plans in accordance with the State Agriculture Development Committee guidelines. It's a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of analysis that goes into updating the farmland preservation plan. And Salem County updated plan has been reviewed and preliminarily approved by the SADC. And so we do cover everything you see on these 2 slides here. Just to kind of sing some of the highlights of the plan. The first section is about the county's agricultural land base. So what this map shows in green are all of the existing farms in the county. These are properties that are assessed as qualified farmland. In addition, within the chart next to the map shows all the acres by town of where the farmland is located. Pretty much every single town in Salem County has farmland, with the exception of Penns Grove Borough, which doesn't have any. So most of the farmland is pretty much maintained and is located within pretty much east of the 295 corridor. We also took a look at your farmland soils using publicly available data from the USGS, and we mapped them showing what the locations of prime farmland soils are, statewide importance, unique importance, local importance, and also those that are not prime farmland or any of the other categories. Of course, in Salem County, the most common type of soil are the prime farmland soils, which occupy almost 89,000 acres of the county. The second most popular type of soil for farming activities would be soils of unique importance, followed by statewide important soils. Also included in this section, we reviewed some of the existing trends among the farms, including the types of agricultural lands in Salem County. Cropland continues to be the predominant type of farmland in the county. Approximately 65% of all the agricultural land in the county is cropland, followed by wetland areas on farm, woodland areas on farm, and then with pasture land. We also took a look at some of the U.S. Census of Agriculture data and looked at the average farm size and median farm size and how they kind of fluctuated over the years. Generally speaking, the average farm size in Salem County has decreased by about 12 acres, whereas the median farm size has decreased by about 20 acres since its peak in 1997. We also looked at the number of farms in Salem County based upon the U.S. Census of Agriculture data. Generally, the number of farms has remained relatively consistent over the years. It peaked in 2012 when there were 825 farms, and as of 2017, there were 781 farms in the county. And so the second section of the plan has to do with the county's agricultural industry. Salem County ranks #1 in the state for grain, oilseeds, dried beans, and dried peas in agricultural sales. They also rank first in the state for cattle and calves, and also with milk from cows. The county is second with vegetables, melons, potatoes, and sweet potatoes, and then also second with the poultry and egg sales. The market value of agricultural products sold in the county from 1987 to 2017 has mostly increased throughout the decades. However, between 2012 and 2017, there was a slight decrease by about $5 million. But for the most part, it would seem as though, count the sales from agricultural products sold in Salem County is on the upward trend. And so we also reviewed the types of field crop acreage in the county and also the livestock trends in the county. Beef cattle has remained relatively consistent since 1987. It fluctuates a little bit each year, but for the most part it stays around 1,500 heads. Dairy cattle saw a pretty significant decline from over 5,500 heads to only almost 1,600 in 2017. Same with cattle and calves. At its most in Salem County, it was 1987, there were over 12,000 cattle and calves, and then as of 2017, that decreased to about 5,800. And for field crops, throughout the years, there's been, some fluctuations among the types of crops, but overall, corn for graded seed has definitely increased in production, as has wheat and also soybeans, which has maintained about 28,000 acres in production. The third section of the plan has to do with land use planning. So within this section, we summarize the state development and redevelopment plan. We also updated the plan to include the draft 2011 state strategic plan. We added a section about CAFRA area, which is the Coastal Area Facility Review Act. And we also took a look at the county's master plan and incorporated the county's 2016 growth management plan. Within this section, we also analyzed the land use land cover of the county. For the most part, agriculture has remained viable and has, even though the acreage of agriculture between 1995 and 2015 has decreased by almost 4,600 acres, it's pretty minimal compared to other areas of the state where a lot of the agricultural land just gets depleted. The urban area in the county increased slightly by about 5,300 acres. Wetland area decreased, and as did forested areas. And so this is a map showing the land use land cover, as I kind of mentioned before, where all the existing farms are located. This is also the area based upon aerial imagery, where there's a lot of active agricultural land in the county. As part of this section of the plan, we took a look at municipal zoning. And so what this map shows are municipal zoning by a pretty broad classification that we assign to each zone. So the brown area represents agricultural, rural, residential zoning. The yellow is residential zoning. The red is commercial. The gray is industrial. The blue are publicly zoned areas. And then the teal is the conservation zones that are located within each of the municipalities in the county. And for section 4, which is the county's farmland preservation plan overview, we updated the agriculture development area for the entire county. Some main highlights of this update was that at the request of the SADC, we removed Woodstown Borough and also Elmer Borough from the agricultural development area, and we also extended a portion of the ADA into Oldman's Township. And then we also took a look at some of this existing farms located just on the outside of the ADA boundary in the southwestern portion of the county, and tried to capture as many farms as we could within the ADA. One of the requirements for farmland preservation is that the farm has to be located in the ADA boundary. So we did our best to try to capture as many as we possibly could in updating the plan. And so within section 4 also, we took a look at where the preserved farmland by category and by program. So over 20% of the farms preserved in the county have been preserved through one of the county's programs, either the county easement program, which is now defunct, or the county planning incentive grant program. So one of the requirements for the planning incentive grant program is an updated from a farmland plan, which qualifies the county for the matching cost share grant with the state. And roughly, there's a sliding scale associated with the size of the farm, but roughly it comes out to being that the state will pay 60% and the county pays 40% of the preserved land price. There's also farms in the county, about 24,000 acres, that have been preserved directly through the state easement program or their fee simple program. About 3,000 acres have been preserved through a municipal planning incentive grant program, and then about another 2,000 acres have been preserved through nonprofit programs. And so also within this section, we updated the section about the coordination with open space and historic preservation initiatives. And so we added some information about the wildlife management areas and state parks in the county, along with nonprofit open spaces, New Jersey Coastal Heritage Trail, the Bay Shore Heritage Scenic Byway, the Historic Preservation Initiative of the 7 Steps to Freedom, and also the visitsalem.com website as well. As for the future farmland preservation program, this section is looking towards the future. How many acres can the county preserve annually? How much money is needed to preserve those acres annually? So we came up with this preservation projection using the county's funds of about $1 million, which the Open Space Trust Fund accrues each year. We were able to kind of try to figure out, well, what's the maximum amount we can preserve using that. And so we, assigned a match for the state funds, and also looking at historically about how much federal funds have been used to preserve farms, and also the municipal funds for farms that are in municipal programs. We estimate that about $3.8 million is available annually to preserve farms in Salem County. So based upon the funding, we were able to get an average easement price over the last 5 years to preserve farms, which led us to approximately 650 acres can be preserved annually through the county's program. And so over a course of 10 years, about 6,500 acres are expected to be preserved. And so this map, as part of the plan's update, we reviewed all of the preserved farms and also the targeted farms inventory. The county only targets farms that are greater than 25 acres. So we mapped out all existing farms, applied some criteria with 25 acres minimum lot size, and also took a look to see whether agriculture is permitted in the zone, and also tried to determine whether or not those farms are tillable. And we actually updated all the targeted farms for the county, so we have a fresh new list to preserve farms with. We also expanded the project areas for the county. Previously, the county had smaller project areas, and with this plan's update, we updated the project areas to encompass the entirety of the ADA. So if the farm is located in an ADA, you're also within a project area and are eligible for farmland preservation. This is the chart showing the summary for each project area, which includes the acreage and percent of the project area, for the types of soils that are there, the acreage of existing farms, the acreage of preserved farms, and also of the targeted farms, and as well as the preserved open space. This chart's kind of interesting because it kind of shows you, what types of soils are available in each of the project areas, how many farms, which farms are preserved already, and you can kind of draw some interesting analyses and conclusions from it. So this chart was a requirement from the SADC to include in the plan, and so I thought that I would present it here for everybody, if anybody likes statistics that much. The sixth section of the plan is about agricultural economic development. So we incorporated the Department of Agriculture's most recent strategies for the productions of crops and nursery items and livestock and poultry. We also added a section on agritourism, including certain wineries and distilleries, pick-your-own facilities, community-supported agriculture, and also farmers markets. We also incorporated some changes that have been made at the state level, such as SADC events on preserved farms, the American Farmland Trust Report, recent legislative changes at the state level, rural microenterprise activity, and also SADC agricultural management practices, which I believe have been continually updated over the last 10 years. The seventh section of the plan is about natural resource conservation. So we updated this section about available grant programs that are available to farmers and preserve farm owners, including SADC stewardship grant and also federal conservation programs. We took a look at some of the water resources that are available to farmers, including groundwater and surface water resources. And the plan also recommends conservation and allocation strategies. The two charts here, we pulled this data out of the New Jersey Geologic Society database, and it pretty much shows that agricultural water withdrawals between 1990 and 2018 have been continually increasing, and also that in 2018 the usage of water, industrial accounted for about 44%, potable water supply accounted for about 26%, and agricultural accounted for about 29%. And these all have to do with the permits that are received by DEP if you exceed a certain amount of water withdrawal. And so the 8th section of the plan is about agricultural industry, sustainability, retention, and promotion. So within this section of the plan, we provide some information about existing agricultural industry support, such as right to farm programs and agricultural mediation programs, and also about the state's farmland assessment program, which allows working, operating farms can be assessed at a lower tax level than, say, residential property or commercial property. We also include other strategies in this section, such as permit streamlining, agricultural vehicle movement, labor, housing and training, wildlife management strategies, and agricultural education and promotion. And with that, that is my somewhat brief summary of the Farmland Preservation Plan. And if anybody has any questions or comments, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Commissioners?
Lee, excellent job. That's all it is. Great job, everything.
Yes, it is.
I'll open that up to those that are in the audience too, if you have any questions.
You probably said it in the beginning, but what is SADC?
The SADC is the State Agriculture Development Unit. Good.
One of the things that I noticed, you're taking $1 million, we're raising $1 million a year, I believe that's through our taxes,
It's the open space, the existing open space tax.
Right. Weren't we using it, but leveraging that through loans or, borrowing money and then leveraging it so we can actually, in the early years, farmland preserve additional, more than we could with just $1 million, Chris, or?
So that was, I think you're referring to the IPA, when you saw the purchase agreement with it.
Right.
The commissioners had, I don't know, I think about 5-6 years ago decided they were not going to do the IPA anymore. So in order to leverage the little bit of money that we have, we go with partners with the municipalities and pull in federal funds. So if we can pull in the federal funds and the state funds, the only thing the county has to pay is soft cost, which then is just your survey, your appraisal, and your title, which is nothing compared to the other costs of to actually preserve that farm. So that's how we're able to keep the little bit of funds going and stay number one in the state with the farmland preservation.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes, I also work with him, yes.
What are we paying per year for that PA,
For the IPA,
IPA?
we're not paying anything with it, except they have an interest that gets paid out, which Kelly handles off of that one.
We pay it out to, we have about 5 different
I think so.
IPAs,
Okay.
and we pay them May 15th and November 15th, and we have an amortization schedule of what we pay them.
And that comes out of the farmland preservation.
Yes, everything for the program comes out of the 2 cent dedicated tax.
It's good to see we're continuing on, and it's a beautiful county, and we just need to be responsible.
Absolutely.
Anything else from the audience and/or commissioners, administration?
Do these contracts that the farmers have, is there a time limit, X number of years of payments?
For the IPA,
Yes.
yes, that was set up for that they get payments for, I think it's 15 or 20 years.
They're all different, and they've started at different times.
and right.
So, yeah.
Wasn't there a cost adjustment associated with
No.
How many farmlands do we have in the queue right now?
How many applications?
Yes.
In the office, I have probably about 48. The board last month, they approved the top 16 because we rank each farm. It's based on the ground only. It is not based on who owns it. So I'm working on those 16 to submit to get green light through the state.
So is that for this year, every year they another 16 or another quantity?
Yeah, so the 16 are new ones. Right now, I have in the queue actually waiting for settlement, probably about 14 of them. Some have a few issues, which drives Kelly insane because we try to budget every year, but it's not a budget that we can control. It's out of my hands. But some of them are really starting to finally come together for those ones that have been hanging around for a while.
It seems like you come first.
Yes.
Bunch of them settle, and it seems like nothing.
Yes. Because it's just, sometimes you just get issues and we just have to clear them up.
Thank you for a great presentation. Appreciate it.
I know.
Anyone
It's an
else?
extremely popular program with Salem County.
It needs to be. It needs to be, yes.
I know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have an ordinance to adopt tonight. What? We have a,
Shut things down, if you could.
we'll have to take a 2-minute break here as we move things around.
That's working, Scott, yeah.
Yes, you have to push it. That can, I'll take that down when we're done. Okay. I just want to move this so we can get back online properly. Okay, I'm good here. We're good to go again, Ben.
Clerk report, do we have any waiver rules?
Yes, we have one waiver of rules, A5, resolution 20, Zest, 20,
Do I have a motion to waive rules for A5?
Director, make a motion to waive the rules for resolution 85.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. We have public hearing adoption, we have adoption of ordinance 2022-001.
Bond ordinance providing for the undertaking of SFY 2021-2022 capital improvements at and for certain facilities of Salem Community College located within the County of Salem, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,250,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,250,000 in bonds or notes of the County of Salem, State of New Jersey, for financing such appropriation, the principal of and interest on the aggregate principal amount which would be entitled to state aid pursuant to Chapter 12 of the laws of New Jersey, 1971.
That's a lot. Do I have a motion to approve that, to open up a public hearing?
Director, make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2022-001.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Deputy Director Osborne.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramsey, he is absent. Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom,
Yes.
Director Laurie,
Yes.
5-4-1 to open the public hearing.
And Ed Ramsey has been dismissed. He has a meeting to go to about some development in Pittsburgh, so he's headed that direction for a 7 o'clock meeting. So it's open for public hearing. Is there anyone from the public want to comment? Hearing none, can I get a motion and second to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second?
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Deputy Director Osborne.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramsey is absent. Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom,
Yes.
Director Laurie,
Yes.
4-1.
I'd like to get a motion and a second for the adoption of ordinance 2022-001.
Mr. Director, make a motion for the adoption of ordinance 2021-001.
I don't,
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I do want to say that the amount we're bonding for is $1.25 million, of which 50% will be reimbursed to the county from the state. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Deputy Director Oster.
Yes?
Commissioner Ramsey is not here. Commissioner Ware.
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom.
Yes.
Director Laurie.
Yes.
4 to 1. Passed. Adoption of ordinance 2022-002, bond ordinance providing for the Salem County Vocational Technical School District expansion project located within the County of Salem, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3 million bond or notes of the County of Salem, State of New Jersey for financing such appropriation.
A motion and second to open the public hearing.
Mr. Director, I make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2022-002.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Deputy Director Oster.
Yes?
Commissioner Ramsey is absent. Commissioner Ware.
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom.
Yes.
Director Laurie.
Yes.
4-1. Passed.
Anyone from the public want to comment on this ordinance? Hearing none, I have a motion and second to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Deputy Director Oster.
Yes.
Ramsey is absent. Commissioner Ware.
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom.
Yes.
Director Laurie.
Yes.
4-1. Passed.
Can I get a motion and second for adoption of ordinance 2022-02?
Mr. Director, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2022-002.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? I do want to say a ordinance like this requires a supermajority, so if Ed Ramsey and one more left, we could not adopt. So, it's good, gentlemen, hang in there.
I'm saying
Anyone else for this discussion on this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call.
Deputy Director Oster.
yes.
Commissioner Ramsey is absent. Commissioner Ware.
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom.
Yes.
Director Laurie.
Yes.
4-1. Passed.
Commissioners, what's your pleasure with the correspondent committee and commission minutes and reports?
Mr. Director, I make a motion that the correspondence, department reports, and commission minutes be accepted, filed, and made part of the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Payment bills and claims. What's your pleasure, Commissioner?
Mr. Director, I make a motion that all bills and claims, when properly signed and audited, be paid and charged to the respective accounts.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Resolution administrative.
A1, resolution recognizing Juneteenth as an official holiday for the County of Salem.
You want to read that before I read it now?
Yeah.
Right now.
Whereas Juneteenth commemorates June 19, 1865, the day General Gordon Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War had ended and the enslaved were free. And whereas word of freedom finally reached the slaves in Texas 2.5 years after 1863 Emancipation Proclamation, and enslaved people in the South were made aware of their freedom, and jubilant celebrations evolved into general celebration of freedom. And whereas the celebration of Juneteenth symbolizes freedom, celebrates the abolition of slavery, and reminds all Americans of the significant contributions Black Americans have made to our society. And whereas recognizing that the observance of the end of slavery is part of the history and heritage of the United States. And whereas Salem County, with its large Quaker population, was considered a safe haven for slaves fleeing through the Underground Railroad from Point South. And whereas it is proper and fitting for the County of Salem to designate the third Friday in June as an official holiday to celebrate the emancipation of Black Americans. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Salem County Board of County Commissioners that Juneteenth is an official holiday and will be celebrated on the third Friday in the month of June.
Thank you. Continue on, please.
A2, resolution to appoint members to the Salem County Tourism Advisory Council, Amy Peterson Petrie. A3, resolution accepting the annual report of audit for the year 2020. A4, resolution appointing fund commissioner to the statewide insurance fund. A5, resolution appointing Robert Zest, county road supervisor.
Heard the reading of these five resolutions, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Director, I make a motion we adopt these five resolutions with thanks to Mr. Carney for his persistence on urging us to pass A1. Thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Roll call for this one.
Deputy Director Oster.
Yes.
Commissioner Ramsey is absent. Commissioner Ware.
Yes.
Commissioner Grissom.
Yes.
Director Laura.
Yes.
Passed 4-1.
Resolutions, economic development, public works.
Go on, check it out.
C1, resolution accepting and executing a contract with the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs for a transportation services grant for veterans for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. And C2, resolution awarding a non-fair and open contract for truck repairs for the Salem County Road Project.
Commissioners, you've heard the reading of these two resolutions. What's your pleasure?
Director, I move that we approve the two resolutions.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Yes, unanimous. Health and resolutions, health and human services and education.
D1, resolution accepting and executing the COVID-19 vaccination program 2022 Activity C grant.
For the reading of that resolution, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Director, I make a motion we adopt resolution D1.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Yes, unanimous. Resolutions, public safety.
E1, resolution supporting the Salem County Sheriff's Office application of a reimbursement grant for Salem County Title 4D child support reimbursement. E2, resolution authorizing contract for expert opinion services with Stephen Simmering. No, that is not.
Simmering is correct.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. E2, resolution authorizing an application for the reimbursement grant fiscal year 2022 Title 4D child support reimbursement for the Salem County Sheriff's Office. E1, resolution accepting and executing a grant for the Salem County Sheriff's Office from the New Jersey Department of Human Services Division of Family Development for the fiscal year 2021 Title 4D child support reimbursement. And E3, resolution awarding a non-fair and open contract for the lot retrofit project at the Salem County Correctional Facility.
For the reading of the two resolutions, what's your pleasure?
Director, I move that we approve all three resolutions.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Yes, unanimous. Commissioners, do we have any old business? Any new business?
Mr. Director, if I could just clarify for the minutes, I think the clerk misspoke when she was announcing the votes were 4-1. Mr. Ramsey isn't here, so that would be no vote at all. So the votes that you recited that were 4-1 should actually be reflected in the minutes to be 4-0. I just want to make sure that we're clear on record.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Pick that up, thank you.
That's why you did that.
Yes.
Always a stick in the mud.
No.
Commissioners, do we have any new business? Commissioners, public announcements.
Mr. Director, lots of things going on. Weather's getting better. COVID has become endemic rather than pandemic. People are venturing out. A lot of opportunities here. First of all, we want to remind everyone the Fort Mott Ferry is back, so we can do the Three Forts tours again. Best of Salem County is coming up Thursday at the Salem County Fairgrounds. I see Patty's here, and I'm sure she's going to be in attendance on the 7th at the Habitat for Humanity sponsor of Stud Day. Later that afternoon.
That's a wood stud, right?
The other stud, Sharptown Methodist Church. Drive for Education, the College Foundation's 11th Annual Golf Tournament. Town and Country Golf Links next Friday the 13th, so if you're feeling lucky, that's the place to go, I guess. Arts in Bloom, we can't say enough. These folders are around there, activities all over the county where you can come look at the work of our local artists, and it should be a really fun day. I'm looking forward to wandering around and seeing what's going on there. Car show and walk for special needs at the Votech. I got tickets for those too, right?
No tickets.
No tickets, just show up while you're there, right? Pittsburgh Day is May 21st, and I think, isn't that also the Pittsburgh Memorial Day?
Yes,
It really is.
Yes.
yes.
So that's happening. Cowtown Rodeo Memorial Day, Saturday, May 28th, weekly through September. And I think we'll bring up everybody up to speed later, because there's a huge list over there.
And if you're going to the Pittsburgh Day, there's a chicken pulled pork barbecue from the Little Grove Fire Hall. So looking forward to that also. It's always delicious. Anything else, Commissioner? All right, we'll open up to the public. Please step forward and state your name and your address. Patty?
Patty Bomba, Harness Point. Last call for raffle tickets for the, with Habitat, outdoor furniture raffle. That will be pulled Saturday at the sponsor study day. I was going to remind you about the car show and special needs walk, but Dr. Ostrom did that. That starts at 9. They both start at 9 o'clock that day on the 21st. Pocketbook Bingo is also on the 21st. That's at 1 o'clock. That's almost sold out. I'm sure you'll be getting official invitations, but the special services graduation is June 7th at 6 o'clock at the Votech Gym, or in the Votech Gym. And the Votech graduation is June 15th at 6. We got some exciting news. Resources for Independent Living was approved as an adult day care program. So that's awesome news for families like mine who, I mean, let's face it, since Hollydale closed, there's nothing in Salem County except for the ARC. For consumers who are over the age of 21, but not really seniors. I mean, there's only adult daycares for seniors. So this will give consumers over the age of 21 and not seniors someplace to go and have programs.
Is it their facility
In Pennsville, and also Cumberland County was also approved. So that's the office in Lima.
Very good.
So, yes, that's good news. That's about it. I just wanted to thank you though for the bond votes and these referendums. And also, thank you for seeing the diversity in Salem County by your, the holiday, the Juneteenth holiday, and also what you do for the disabled. You know, Dr. Ostrom called Nelson persistent. I think we're both kind of nags, but.
I wouldn't even call him a name.
Speak for yourself, right?
So, thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Nelson?
Nelson Carney, Woodstown. Again, we'll piggyback on Patty. I probably wasn't that during that whole year. Again, thank you for honoring this holiday. Also, that was probably one of the last conversations I had with my father, who just passed away the day before our banquet. He was 91 years old, lifetime Woodstown resident. And we're trying to do history. He belongs to Mount Salem Church in Woodstown. and they used to have the Juneteenth meetings there. And I think it was the late 60s, early 70s, we're trying to find out. I was actually in the process of talking to him about it, but then he passed. So we're trying to find there's no old folks left at that church. So I'm trying to do some history on that to see when the last Juneteenth meeting was in Salem County.
I remember when that happened. When
Yes.
they would go on. I thought they did it earlier.
It turned into, I guess, too big party and drinking and everything. That's when they stopped it.
It was, what was the word you used? Jubilant?
Yes.
Can we expect that again?
No, I hope not. No. Times are different. And actually, I sent Pat the Juneteenth celebration we're having here in Salem City for Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Yes, I forwarded that to them.
Okay. Yes, we'll get more information as it comes along. So again, you guys are fighting for that.
That's most part of the day, isn't it, like 4 hours?
Yeah, 4 hour work. Yes.
I think it used to be all weekend.
Is that right?
Well, you come to church service Sunday morning too. So. But again, thank you guys also for supporting our banquet. Great affair. It was one of the best ones we've had in the years that I've been president. So again, thank you for your support. And Doc, Lee got a chance to give up their rewards.
Love it. Had a ball.
Yes. And that was a rough day for me. And like I said, I wasn't planning on coming, but everyone talked me into coming that day. I said that was the day after my father had passed. So.
He probably would have wanted you.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. I can hear it now. Yes. So that's why I canceled the meeting that Monday, because my wife is my assistant secretary, my sister-in-law is my treasurer, and I figure everyone needs a break after that weekend. But they really worked hard. Thank you again for your support, and I just have to say that railroads in Woodstown are looking mighty good. They're clearing them really good. It's real good. You can actually see across the fields again. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience? Just to let you know,
Wait.
You're not supposed to say anything, nobody else is.
we just narrowed it down.
Let somebody.
We've got something online from Joe Hiles. Thank you, Commissioners, for recognizing the Juneteenth holiday. It is much more important than just a day off. The Communication Workers of America, Local 1085. Damn it. Oh.
You just hung up.
Sorry, Joe.
No, that wasn't for Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. I hit a button wrong. Oh,
I'm the witness. You
let
didn't-
me
you didn't
find
go
it.
home.
Is it, the Local 185 is appreciative for the opportunity to work with the county, especially Administrator Ridgway, Director Laurie, and Deputy Director Ostrom, to properly celebrate our county's diverse culture. We hope to continue to work with you on the establishment of a diversity committee to educate and promote diversity in the workplace. Thank you again for your service and partnership. In solidarity, Joe Hiles, Executive Vice President, CWA Local 1085. Sorry for my slip.
Thank you for your efforts and
He
facilities.
didn't hear you.
Anyone, any other comments? Hearing none, just to let you know, our next meeting is May 18th. It will be at 4 o'clock for those who showed up early. I apologize. I'm not sure where that came from, but the next meeting is at 4 p.m. It will be our summer hours, and the rest of the meetings until, I think the first one after Labor Day is also at 4 o'clock. But please look at our schedule, because during the months of June, July, and August, there are only one commissioner meeting. So please, and it's not necessarily the first or third Tuesday or Wednesday. Mostly the third. Yeah, the webpage. And yes, please attend. So those who can't make the evening, it's a good chance to get out at 4 o'clock and see us. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen? We're not going to have a closed session today, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on the adjournment? Hearing no discussion, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Passed unanimous, we are adjourned.